Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1946. I'm so excited today because I get to talk to someone who was a hero to me back when I was a little kid building models. The legendary, the iconic Don Prudhomme.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm very excited. I'm in Rancho Santa Fe, California, with somebody very special and somebody that takes me back in time. Don the Snake Prudhomme. Don, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have it in gear? And are you ready to release the clutch?
Yeah, anytime you are. Let's go.
Awesome. This is fantastic. Now, before I give you a proper introduction, as if you need one, would you share one little thing with our listeners that maybe, I don't know if anybody does, but maybe people don't know about you?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know about me, but I just happen to be a drag racer, a guy that started when we used to run junkyard parts, go to a junkyard to hop up your car to become a 6-time world champion for the NHRA circuit.
Yeah, well, definitely, I think a lot of people, probably a lot more than you can imagine, know about that. But my listeners tend to be a little bit more mature. Let's put it that way. We're not going to call each other old today, although some days I feel a little old. But you have had an amazing career, and you definitely had an influence on me when I was a little kid. I saw you race at Orange County Raceway back in the 60s and 70s. So this is very, very exciting for me to talk to you. Let me give you a brief introduction, and we're going to dive into some questions I have for you today. Don the Snake Prudhomme is a true legend of the sport, concluded his 47th year in drag racing back in 2009, his 15th season as an owner after logging 32 seasons behind the wheel as one of the sport's most elite drivers. His remarkable driving career began in 1962 with his Top Fuel victory at Smokers March Meet in Bakersfield, California, before ending with 49 NHRA career victories, the 6th most in NHRA history, following his farewell Final Strike tour back in 1994. The Snake reached the final 68 times, posting a remarkable 35 wins in 45 Funny Car Finals and 14 wins in 32 Top Fuel final rounds. But there's no such thing for retirement for the Snake. He's been racing 1,000-mile Baja style races for the past 3 years, and he is the 2021 Yokohama NORRA Mexican 1,000 class winner. You just don't give up. We'll be back in just a moment, but first a word from our sponsor, so give them a little love. We'll be right back. We're at the Snake. Here we go. Covercraft has the most complete line of custom seat covers available. Choose between the Polycotton Seat Savers, Endura Precision Fit Custom Seat Covers, Leatherette Precision Fit Custom Seat Covers, and their durable Carhartt seat covers. They're all easy to install and remove, and guess what? They're machine washable too. Easy cleanup to make them look brand new. No more worries about the kids spilling on your seats or your pets damaging your expensive upholstery or leather. Covercraft's quality seat covers protect from damaging pet claws, pet fur, hair, mud, moisture, food, drink spills, drool from permanently damaging your vehicle's fine surfaces. Headrest and armrest covers and color options are also available on many of the styles. And I've got a great offer for you. If you use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at covercraft.com, they'll give you 10% off plus free shipping. That's right, 10% off and free shipping with the code YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. Visit covercraft.com today. Last year, I changed my collector car coverage to American Collectors Insurance. That's who now protects my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush. But did you know they also insure your valuable collections of automobilia and other collectibles? If you're like me, you've invested in a lot of cool collectibles over the years. Those items are valuable. And if you were to lose them in a theft or a fire, well, try to get your normal homeowner's insurance to pay you what they're worth. Good luck with that. American Collectors Insurance provides you with assurance and confidence that your collectibles are fully covered. They insure a lot of items, including automobilia, wine, baseball cards, books, figurines, die-cast models, model trains, glassware, sports memorabilia, toys, and a whole lot more. American Collectors Insurance, they've been protecting us enthusiasts since 1976. They provide you with an agreed value insurance policy backed by a long history of taking care of their clients. Give them a call today for your personal agreed value quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Green's here at Cars Yeah, American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. Automotive enthusiasts just like you and me. That's American Collectors Insurance. So, Don, we are back. Again, you bring back so much of my youth and so much excitement. And I kind of want to start by going way, way back because so many people know about your career and all your wins. But one of my past guests, Elena Scher, wrote a book along with you very recently that really told me some things about you that I didn't know. And I want to go all the way back to the start. You were in high school. You were kind of rambunctious and you wanted to get out and start doing things. And boy, golly, you did. So can you take us way back to that time when you first started thinking, maybe this racing is for me?
Well, that's reaching way back. Actually started in the 50s when I got hooked on racing. I got in a car club. I was able to join this car club in Burbank, California in about 1958. So they had a hot rod there, a dragster, and we all took turns driving it. And that's when I fell in love with the sport, with drag racing.
Now, you got into painting cars and modifying cars, and
oh yeah,
that's kind of what you were doing back then, right?
Oh yes, I was painting cars, exactly. Yeah, I dropped out of high school, which I'm not real proud of, but back in those days, well, I didn't care for school very much. How's that? And
yeah.
I had to make a living too, so I dropped out and working on cars and sanding them, and I become a pretty damn good painter. So I was happy with that. I thought that's where the rest of my life was going to stay until I discovered drag racing. To be honest with you, we all had street cars and hot rods on the street, but never did I experience anything so great that when I joined the Road Kings of Burbank and got to go out to the San Fernando Valley drag strip in about 59 and so on through there and started learning how to drag race. And it was just, a wonderful, wonderful life for growing up as a young guy and being able to do that.
Well, you started touring with some pretty big names back in the day. You think about Tommy Ivo and the Hawaiian, Roland Leong, Big Daddy Don Garlitz, who's been a guest here. I mean, what was that like as a young man? Is that really what formulated your passion to go from painting cars and working on cars to actually being a driver?
Yeah, well, there was a fellow in the Road Kings car club, Tommy Ivo, that you just mentioned, and him and I hit it off really great. And I worked on his car and polished his wheels and whatever on his dragster. He had a first-class dragster, and he really taught me the trade. It really got me really interested in helping me with my driving and stuff, and that was a big deal. And one summer there, he decided he wanted to go on the road, go touring. So it was him and I set out to go on a tour all across the U.S. and run at drag strips. So it was a thrill for a young guy like me to do that.
I would imagine the time with these people who were already racing and being winners and really running businesses, is that what helped formulate your business prowess? Because as you moved through your driving time, it really became your career, your business, and drag racing is a business, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's become a very big business. Many millions of dollars that it takes today to run one of these cars. So, from junkyard parts to spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars in parts today to run a car. It's amazing. But yeah, with Ivo, we raced together and we toured around, and I got to drive his car a few times, and it was a twin-engine dragster, and that was just amazing. But one thing that happened to me with him, we were on the road. I didn't realize that he was getting paid to show up.
Yeah.
And which was wonderful, but we never did discuss that. But one night we're racing in York, Pennsylvania, and the track operator at the end of the night came over and he was counting out these greenbacks on the hood of his car that Ivo was going to make, and Ivo turned to me with a big grin. And I thought to myself, one of these days I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to run a car and get paid to do it and make a living doing this sort of thing. So I could see he's the one that really got it in my head that, hey, you can make a career out of this. And so that's what really happened.
When did that transition happen for you? About how old were you when you could jump into that role and start getting paid and running your own cars and team?
Well, I was about, up until about I was 23 years old is when I really started making a living. I got a job driving a car for a guy by the name of Keith Black and Tommy Greer. They had a dragster, and I got to drive that car. And out here on the West Coast, we were pretty unbeatable with that car. It was just an amazing thing, and that car really helped launch my career.
One of the things that you did when you jump forward to when I was a little boy, I was born in 58. So in the late 60s, you guys, in 70s, you guys came up with, you met Tom McEwen and you had the Snake and the Mongoose and those funny cars. And I built so many models of your guys' cars, the Hot Wheels that you guys did this branding with was a real marketing genius in my mind.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing thing. I picked up the name when I was mentioning the Greer Black Prudhomme car. We were just really doing well, beating the competition. And one of the guys in the crew put the name Snake on me because I was quick off the starting line. I was pretty good up there. I just really took to the drag racing, and I was quick. And one of the guys that started calling me Snake, and as a nickname, as you would at some kid in school or something, and. Next thing I know, the announcer started calling me Snake, and I become friends with a fellow by the name of Tom McEwen at the drag strip, and he was a hell of a good racer, and he beat us a couple times, and he decided to start calling himself the Mongoose.
Chasing the snake.
Yes, and then the promoters at the drag strip wanted to see the two of us race together, match racing. And so we got some match races at Lions Drag Strip and several of the tracks around, and we actually got paid to show up to run one to race against each other. So it was the Snake and the Mongoose. And Tom decided to take it a step farther and go to Mattel Toy Company and talk to them about the Hot Wheels cars. Hot Wheel, it just came out, that the Mattel had the Barbie dolls, of course, and it was the first year into their Hot Wheel cars for the kids, for the boys.
Yeah. Oh, I had them all. Yeah.
Mattel, geez, it didn't take much talking at all. They decided to sponsor us, and that took place in 1970. And we still get royalty checks from them, from Mattel.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a genius move. I would assume a lot of, well, if not a lot, most of drag racing, even back then, now it's even more business focused. The business prowess that you learned, were there some key individuals in your life back then that were really mentors to you or influencers to you that helped you along the way?
Oh, yeah, very much. Probably the main one had to be Keith Black of Keith Black Racing Engines. He's the one that taught me about financing and doing stuff. I was able to put together I wouldn't call it a sponsorship, but a payment plan that he had. He built me a couple of engines, and I went on the road. And this was a little later on. This was about in 1968. We went on the road and match racing around, and when I got paid at the track, I would send Keith the money, and so I had a line of credit with him, and he was the first guy that ever gave me any credit, and so Keith Black, if it wasn't for him, I'm sure I would have never made it.
And another guy who was real prominent from what I learned reading this book was Wally Parks, the great president in NHRA, right?
Oh, yeah. Wally was like a father to me, yes. Wally was great. He took me under his wing, and so to speak, and we had a great relationship, and we remained friends, and he was just a great individual. He helped out a lot of guys, actually, and, it was really the beginning of the sport, and he got us off of wearing T-shirts and dirty pants to uniform shirts and things like that, because he had this vision that where drag racing was going to go, and he was right on, and he was telling me his vision, and I kind of worked my plans out to fit the NHRA.
Oh, it's very cool. Now, I understand that when you were living in, I think it was Granada Hills, there was this other guy who was a racer, who was a neighbor of yours that is kind of a big name in the sport. I think his name's Dan Gurney.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, Gurney, great guy, really, really great guy. He was working out of Keith Black's also. Keith Black was building some Dodge engines when Dodge was doing some road racing with Gurney, and he built the engines. Well, I always liked open wheel racing. That was kind of my favorite thing. But I didn't think I'd stand any chance of getting into it. And but I kept bugging Gurney about, hey man, how can I get a ride in one of those Indy cars? And finally, I bugged him enough one day. He said to me, kid, if you want to do it bad enough, you'll find a way. And I thought, oh my God, that's kind of harsh, but boy, it was so true. That was a good lesson in life. If you want to do something bad enough, really bad enough, you'll find a way to do it, and no matter what it is. And that's what happened to me. And obviously, I didn't want to drive Indy cars that bad, or else I would have done it. Drag racing is taking over my life.
No doubt. I know that. Again, this is from reading the book that Alana and you wrote, that family is really important to you. And your wife, Lynn, I believe, right? And your daughter, Donna, have been a key part of your success?
Yes, and you're talking about the business side of things. Without my wife, Lynn, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, because she was just a key element with that. I pointed out that I was a high school dropout. I didn't do very good in school. And she did, and so we made really a perfect combination. I would go out and book the dates, and she would know what to do with the money and pay the bills and all that. And so it worked out. We've been married 58 years.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's really spectacular, because drag racing and sports in general can really strain families, because you're gone so much. You're just not there, but there's obviously a tight bond and a love there. And you share a daughter, right? Donna?
Yeah, my daughter, Donna. Yeah, now she's a big part of whatever business we are doing and so on. She's a part of that, and she's just great, and plays a big role in our lives. We're the three of us are extremely close. And I've just been enjoying retirement with her around, and of course Lynn, and things have been really super.
Now, retirement. I touched on this when I introduced you, that I don't think a guy like you sits around too well, is the way I'll put it. My grandpa and my father were that way. They always said, we don't sit around too well. The idea of retirement doesn't sound like a healthy prospect. You've been racing Baja 1000 type cars, and you actually won the championship in your class this year. Congratulations. Well,
thank you. Yeah, I decided this is like my third year, and it's called the NORRA, NORRA, the NORRA 1000. And in April of this year, I entered, and of course, I have two other co-drivers, navigation, someone navigating. It turned into a big deal. It's like drag racing nowadays, but to run an off-road, it's a big deal. But we won our class, and that was just a huge accomplishment, especially I just turned 80 years old.
I know.
And to go down there and win your class is kind of cool,
I'm trying to, way back in the day, I grew up down in La Jolla, California, and I had friends whose dads were racing way back when, the Baja 500, Baja 1000. And I went down once when I was in college, and I did what they call a pre-run. Yeah. And I got to strap into one of those things. I don't know how an 80-year-old, oh my gosh, dude, you must be very fit, because that beat the heck out of me, and I was in really good shape back in those days. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, I'm proud to say that the cars are a lot calmer these days as far as the shocks and suspension and stuff. Yeah. I run a hopped up Can-Am, and the suspension on that is remarkable, where the car will go and what you can put it through. But yeah, it's not easy on your back, that's for sure. And I've had back problems, and I'm still suffering from that. But I get my cortisone shots, and I'm ready to go racing again. So I'm actually looking at next year going down and do it again, and I'll be 81 before the race. So,
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Things kind of strange, but yeah, I'm in great. I mean, I feel like I'm in good shape, and it's just it's part of me, getting out racing and living life, man, because you got to do that.
Oh, yeah. Sitting around is no good for anybody. That's for sure. My hat's off to you. It's just absolutely incredible to me what you're doing. Bravo, my friend. We're going to take a short break for our sponsors. We come back. I want to talk about one of the probably many challenges you faced in your career and your life. So keep that thought in mind. Keep your seatbelts on. We're with the snake. We'll be right back. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. Did you know that Cars Yeah is in the top 1% of all podcasts based on listenership, according to Libsyn, the premier RSS feed for podcasts in the United States? That's right. And Cars Yeah is the only 5-day-a-week automotive-focused podcast for you to get your message into the ears of thousands of listeners daily from all over the world. Plus, DuPont Registry recommended Cars Yeah is one of their top 10 car podcasts for you to enjoy. Cars Yeah has experienced tremendous growth, plus your ads are evergreen, meaning they never go away. And more listeners find Cars Yeah every day for their daily dose of automotive inspiration. Do you want to expose your brand to a highly targeted list of automotive enthusiasts in a very unique and very personal way? Well, I can help you. Contact me, Mark Green, at mark@carsyeah.com or through the website at carsyeah.com today to learn more. So let's talk about this. No doubt racing is tough, and you've faced a lot of obstacles, challenges, even failures. Back in the day when you were racing, people were getting killed at tracks. Safety was a challenge. Could you share maybe one big challenge? But the most important part of this I'd like to learn about was, what is that really valuable lesson it taught you so you could move forward or keep moving forward in a positive way?
Well, racing was really dangerous back in those days. Of course, like all of motorsports was dangerous. NASCAR, Formula One, especially IndyCar racing, and along those period of times, we lost a lot of friends. And as far as our biggest concern was fires, the cars catching on fire and our funny cars, that was always a real threat. So we learned a lot with the fire extinguishers and fire suits and different helmets and breathing apparatuses. So we went through a lot. Back in today's world, they can have a huge fire, and the driver, for the most part, can walk right out of the flames, because they're so protected with these Simpson fire suits and different fire suits that they wear. So I think that Mongu, I like to say that he had a lot to do with the fire extinguishers on the cars, and he's the one that came up with that idea. And I work real close with Bill Simpson and people like that with safety, and of course along with NHRA. So it's just come a long ways.
Oh, it's incredible. Stand 21. I've had the president of that company on where they started really focusing on fire protection for drivers. And that Formula One race last year, that driver walked away from, it was just incredible. Yeah, it's just so nice to see that things are safer, but it's still so dangerous. Now, I like to ask my guests if they have a bucket list item they'd still like to accomplish in life. You've accomplished so much. You're going to go back and race again. What's the future look like for the Snake?
Well, I'm dabbling around with NHRA a little bit. I dabble around with John Force and a kid by the name of Austin Prock. not this year, but last year we ran a car, and I was at the track quite a bit with the car. So I'm still real interested. My buddy Ron Capps is starting a new adventure himself, and he's leading the points right now. So him and I are real close, and I talk to him a lot. And I still dabble in the latest news and the latest things that are going on and things like that in NHRA drag racing.
Yeah, staying active is so important.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. And I have such a lot of good friends, that I've met through the years, and because of drag racing, everybody from Rusty Wallace to Jeff Gordon to Rick Hendrick, it's amazing, Kyle Larson, good friend, so it's quite nice.
Oh, it's wonderful. I always ask my guests about a special vehicle. I would love for you to go back in time and pick one dragster that you ran that, at least for today, really stands out for you as a really special ride.
Well, it would have to be 1963, the Greer Black and Prudhomme top fuel dragster. It was a front engine car. And I think that car was built by Kent Fuller, and I think it just had the greatest balance to the car. And the engine in the car with Keith Black doing the work on it, it really launched my career. And to me, that's one of my most favorite cars. But then, of course, I got a 1976 Chevrolet Vega funny car that we won 7 out of 8 national events with. And that was a special car, too. So I've had a lot of special cars.
No kidding. Yeah, that's for sure.
I really have. I've never really tried to pick one over the other because I've had so many of them. But I would have to say the Greer Black Prudhomme car and the Monza car was a really special car.
Do you still have any of your original dragsters that you've run?
I just have one now that's hanging up in the NHRA museum, but I had a whole shop full of my old cars, and I decided to sell them. And Rick Hendrick bought the Hot Wheel cars and the haulers and everything.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
I've got several cars around the country that people have purchased, but it was one of those things I was just tired of wiping the oil up off the floor where they sit. So,
Sure. I understand. Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to ask you a question that I hope nobody's ever asked you. You've been interviewed by thousands of people, no doubt. This one's really unique. If the snake was manifest as a vehicle, this isn't what you want to be. This is the man in the mirror, how you perceive yourself as a vehicle. Could be a streetcar, race car, whatever. Could be a rocket. I don't know. What would you be, but more importantly, why?
Oh, I think I would be a 1972 Daytona Coupe Ferrari.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had one of those, and that was awesome. I've had several Ferraris, but that Daytona Coupe, I wish I still had it. And I had a couple of Dino Ferraris, 246 Dinos, and so I've been a Ferrari guy. But I think reaching back, that would be a cool ride to be driving around in right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Very, very fun. No doubt that you have found ways in your life to give back and help other people. And I found this is a really important thing for everybody to find ways to help others. Are there some ways that you do that these days?
Well, I'm helping Ron Capps right now. I reach out to him and Austin Prock, and I help them try to put deals together and, help them in any way I can. So, yeah, I try to, just
Sure.
give some of my advice and a little bit with NHRA.
Well, I always ask my guests for a favorite book. Today, definitely, we're going to promote this book. It's titled Don the Snake Prudhomme, My Life Beyond the 1320. It's by Don and past Cars Yeah guest, Alana Scher. You can go back and find her show. It's a great book, and I want to encourage you listeners, man, if you love drag racing, you love biographies, you should get your hands on this and buy a copy for a buddy, a car buddy or a gal who loves cars, because it's really a fun read. I learned a lot about you that I didn't know in this book, which was exciting for me. Now, before I let you go today, I want to take you on the ultimate drive, and this is how this works. I can allow you to have any car, you can be with any person, living or deceased, and you can be driving anywhere. What does the ultimate drive look like for the snake?
The ultimate car to drive?
Any car. You can pick any car. I will park it in your garage, and then you can pick any person living or deceased, to go on a ride with?
Oh, I think it would be great to be in probably a 70 Barracuda, Hemi Barracuda, with the mongoose riding next to me, cruising down the road talking about the old days.
I think that sounds like a pretty darn nice ride. I'd like to be in the back seat, although I probably wouldn't hear anything because that'd be a little bit of a loud ride, but love those old Barracudas. They're very cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It sounds nice. Now, before I let you go today, would you offer our listeners maybe some parting words of inspiration and wisdom, a success quote, or some kind of mantra that you've lived your successful life by?
Well, really, you're talking about the book. That book, I've really poured my heart out in it, and I hope that it'll help a young guy, a young lady, or a young man. It'll help them a little bit. It was challenging. You know, my childhood was challenging, and sometimes theirs is too. And I think this book will offer that to some good advice. So we have some great stories in there, I think. And once again, I hope the book will help just one kid or two kids or whoever that's growing up, you know, that don't exactly know what they're going to do in life, and how I ended up, and the love for cars that I got so close with in the book is, I'll have that all in there.
Absolutely. Like I said, I learned a lot about you that I had no idea. I just kind of knew about your history from a superficial standpoint, and it really digs deep. Alana did a great job, and she told me when she was on the show with me here how much fun it was to spend with you, drinking coffee and talking about your history, and how many things she learned about you as well. She had a great time writing that book.
She was amazing, and it's the first book I've really ever done. Right. And I was not too crazy on even thinking about it, but CarTech, that's the publisher of the book, approached me about it. And, you know, I like talking about cars. I like talking about stuff. That's for darn sure. But when you start talking about your personal life and you put it down in ink, you know, it's just a lot different. So it took someone like Ilana to really pull those things out of me. And I'm glad she did, and I'm so thankful to work with Ilana Scher. That she's just a great writer, and I think you'll see her really go to the top of the writing world.
Absolutely. Now, it's wonderful. I really appreciate that you did open your heart to the history and things that you struggled with and what you went through and how you became what you became. And no doubt you're a great inspiration to many, many people. You were to me growing up, and you are to me today, Don. This has been so much fun. And you have a website, snakeracing.com, that people can go to and learn more about what you're up to?
Yeah, actually, they can go to Snake Racing Gear, clothing gear, snakeracinggear.com. And they can order a book, and I'll autograph it for them and put their name on there, and whatever they would like. But I just hope the book that people enjoy it, and so far they have. I've been blown away about the kind words that people have had to say about the book. So. But that's where they can get it, right from my shop, snakeracinggear.com.
There you go, listeners. And again, the holidays are coming. This would be an awesome gift to buy your car buddies and car gals books. And you can get Don the Snake Prudhomme to sign it for you. How cool is that? Really appreciate that. Listeners, you can find everything on Don's show notes page here on the Cars Yeah website. And I want to do a thank you shout out to Elon Werner at Tony Fay Public Relations. He got Don on the show today. Don, thank you. This has been really special for me since you were part of my childhood, such a big part of my childhood, to share your experiences with me. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed being on the show a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Here at Cars Yeah, it's all about inspiration. And our charity of choice is TechForce Foundation, where it's all about making a positive difference in young people's lives. TechForce helps young adults discover their talents and passions for all things automotive, with a mission of helping students develop a career as a professional technician. TechForce awards nearly $2 million in scholarships every year for students to pursue technical education, and they support hands-on activities, events, and mentorships across the country, working to change the outdated perceptions of these careers. Auto techs are in high demand, but the supply of qualified technicians is critically short. They need your help to fuel their mission. Learn more and join me in supporting them at techforce.org.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.